Attention, passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, let us talk about where the Dallas Cowboys stand right now in 2025. It has been a bit of a roller coaster so far, hasn't it? The season, as many of you know, started with high hopes, but the reality on the field has been a little more complicated than anyone anticipated. The defense, which was supposed to be a strength, has been struggling quite a bit in these first 6 games, and that's putting it mildly. If you look at the numbers, they were surrendering an average of 37 points per game. That's the second worst in the league, only ahead of the Ravens, who are giving up 32-3. And that's a pretty alarming stat, especially for a team that's traditionally known for its defensive prowess. But what's behind these struggles? Well, you have to consider the injuries, the changes in coaching staff, and of course, the loss of some key players. One of the most talked about issues has been the defense's inability to stop opponents consistently, whether through the air or on the ground. They allowing an average of 269.5 passing yards per game, that's the most in the league, and 142.2 rushing yards per game, which puts them in the 4th position for most rushing yards allowed. These numbers tell us that opposing offenses are having a field day, creating big chunks of yardage through both passing and rushing plays. And it's not just about yards, it's about the points that come with those yards. The Cowboys have only managed to hold one team, the Jets, to 22 points or less. Meanwhile, 4 of their 6 opponents have scored 30 or more points, a clear sign that the defense is struggling to find consistency and stability. Now, all eyes have been on the coaching staff, especially the defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. After the Week 6 loss to the Panthers, where the defense surrendered 30 points, questions started to swirl. Jerry Jones, the owner and general manager, was asked during a press conference whether he was considering making a change at that position. And here's the interesting part. Jones, who had earlier in the day defended Eberflus on the radio, made it clear that he isn't planning to pull the plug just yet. He expressed confidence that things will turn around. In his words, he said, "I got a lot of confidence in him." That's a pretty big statement, especially given the recent results. You have to wonder, though, how much patience Jones is willing to give, because the numbers are not lying. The defense has been a liability so far. One of the reasons often discussed for the defense's struggles is the loss of Micah Parsons, who was traded to the Packers just before the season started. Parsons was a game changer, a disruptive force on the edge, and his absence has been felt deeply. The front 7 has lacked that same edge of chaos that Parsons brought, and that's reflected in the opponent's success on offense. It's also worth noting that the team's overall pass rush and run defense have suffered, which puts even more pressure on the secondary and the linebackers to hold things together. When you lose a player of Parsons' caliber, it's not just a matter of replacing him with another player. It's about adjusting the entire defensive scheme and mindset. So, what is the outlook moving forward? Well, the Cowboys are about to face a big test in Week 7 against their divisional rival, the Commanders. That game is scheduled for Sunday, October 19, at T Stadium. It's a crucial matchup, not just because of the rivalry, but because it could serve as a turning point for the defense. If they manage to shore things up and get a win, it could be a huge boost for morale and confidence. But if they stumble again, questions will only grow louder about whether the defensive issues are fixable this season. Now, let us take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The Cowboys are a team with a rich history of defensive dominance, a team that has often been defined by its ability to shut down opponents and create turnovers. But in recent years, that identity has been tested more than ever, especially with the evolving NFL offenses that are faster and more innovative. This season, the defense's struggles highlight the importance of adaptability and resilience. It's not just about talent. It's about scheme, coaching, and execution. And that's why Jerry Jones' comments about giving Eberflus more time are so intriguing. It shows confidence in the coaching staff's ability to fix what's wrong. But of course, fans are watching closely. There's a lot of frustration out there, and understandably so. The defense needs to step up, and fast, because in the NFL, every game counts. The Cowboys aren't out of the playoff hunt, but they need to start turning these games around, and that includes tightening up defensively. The upcoming game against Washington could be a pivotal moment. If they can contain the pass and stop the run, it would send a message that they're still a team to be reckoned with. But if they falter again, it could be a long season ahead, with questions about the coaching staff, the roster, and the team's identity in the air. In terms of what to expect from the team moving forward, there's a lot of hope. The talent is there, and the potential is undeniable. The offense has been pretty solid, with enough firepower to keep the team competitive, but it's the defense that needs to find its groove. The coaching staff has the challenge of making quick adjustments, getting players to buy into their scheme, and creating more consistency across the board. It has a tall order, but that's why we love this sport, because every week brings new storylines, surprises, and opportunities for redemption. And I want to remind you fans that the league is always changing. Injuries, trades, game plans, everything plays a part. The Cowboys have shown in the past that they can bounce back from adversity, but it takes focus, discipline, and a little bit of that Dallas magic. The next few weeks will be critical in shaping the narrative of this season. Will they rise to the challenge and turn things around? Or will the struggles continue, leaving fans wondering if this is just another roller coaster year? Now, let us talk about some specific stats that really paint a picture of where the team is right now. As I mentioned earlier, the defense is surrendering over 6 yards per play. That's a clear indicator that opponents are gaining yards easily, whether it's through quick passes, deep throws, or explosive runs. The secondary has been exploited, and the front seven has struggled to get pressure on the quarterback. This puts extra pressure on the secondary, which is already missing some key pieces. The team has only managed to hold one opponent to less than 22 points, and that was the Jets, a game that was relatively close. The other 5 games, all over 30 points against. That is a stark statistic, and one that the coaching staff will have to address quickly. Looking at the bigger picture, this season is shaping up to be a test of resilience for the Cowboys. The division, NFC East, is fiercely competitive, with rival teams eager to take advantage of any weakness. The Eagles, Giants, and Commanders are all fighting hard, and if Dallas wants to reclaim their spot at the top, they'll need to tighten up defensively. It's not just about making changes, but about instilling confidence, fixing communication breakdowns, and executing the game plan flawlessly. It's a tall order, but with the talent and the history of this franchise, it's not impossible. As we approach the game against Washington, all eyes will be on how the defense responds. Will they make the necessary adjustments? Will the players step up and show why they're professionals? Or will the struggles continue and the questions about coaching and roster composition intensify? That's what makes football so exciting. Every game is a new chapter, a new opportunity to write a different story. And I believe the Cowboys still have that chance. The season isn't over yet, and with every setback comes an opportunity to come back stronger. Now I want to talk briefly about the fans, because your energy and passion are what make this team special. The AT&T Stadium will be buzzing on Sunday, and I know that the crowd will be behind the team, cheering loudly, hoping for that breakthrough. It's moments like these that define a season: the resilience, the grit, and that unbreakable Cowboys spirit. So stay hopeful, stay loud, and keep believing. Because in the end, that's what makes being a Cowboys fan so incredible. We've seen ups and downs before, and we'll see them again, but our loyalty never wavers. And finally, as we wrap up this update, I want to leave you with a thought. This season is far from over. There's still a lot of football to be played, and the Cowboys have the talent and the history to turn things around. The key is execution and belief. The coaching staff needs to harness that talent, and the players need to execute their assignments better. The upcoming game against Washington will be a defining moment, but it's also a chance for everyone involved to demonstrate their resilience and determination. So what do you think, Cowboys Nation? Are we on the verge of a turnaround? Can this defense find its form again? Will the team rally and show the league why they're still a force to be reckoned with? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice matters. Let us keep the conversation going, and let us stay united as we support our team through these challenging times. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so make sure you're resubscribed and ready for all the latest news, analysis, and insights about the Dallas Cowboys, because this is more than just a team, it's a family, and together we believe in that blue star shining bright no matter what. Thank you for tuning in, Cowboys fans. Stay passionate, stay loud, and let us get ready for an exciting week ahead. The Cowboys are on a journey, and every step, whether up or down, is part of that incredible story we all love to follow. Until next time.